Immaculate reception. In the 1972 AFC Divisional Playoff, the Steelers trailed the Raiders 7-6 with 22 seconds left. On 4th and 10 from their own 40, Terry Bradshaw scrambles and hurls the ball downfield toward Frenchie Fuqua. Raiders safety Jack Tatum collides with Fuqua just as the ball arrives. Then it ricochets into the hands of rookie Franco Harris, who sprints for a 60-yard touchdown. The crowd erupts, but the officials freeze. Under the rules at the time, if the ball bounces off Fuqua alone and Harris catches it, it's illegal. If it bounces off Tatum or both, it's legal. The replay footage is inconclusive, showing a blur of helmets and shoulder pads. The referees confer for 15 minutes, then call New York from the field, an unprecedented move in 1972. The call stands, touchdown. The Raiders never forgive the league, and the controversy bursts a conspiracy that never quite dies. Super Bowl III. In 1969, the Baltimore Colts enter Super Bowl III as 18-point favorites, carrying a 13-1 record and a defense that's allowed just 144 points all season. The AFL's New York Jets, led by Joe Namath, arrive with swagger but no expectations, until Namath guarantees a win 3 days before kickoff. On game day, the Colts collapse. They miss 4 field goals, throw 3 interceptions, and fail to score until the fourth quarter. The Jets win 16-7, and the merger narrative shifts overnight. Theories emerge fast. Some suggest the NFL allows the upset to boost AFL legitimacy ahead of the 1970 merger. Others point to Namath's promotional value as the perfect crossover star for a league expanding into TV-driven spectacle. The Colts' uncharacteristic miscues only fuel suspicion. Even today, some Colts players claim they were told to take it easy. Tuck rule game. In the 2001 AFC divisional round, the Raiders lead the Patriots 13-10 with under 2 minutes left when Charles Woodson blindsides Tom Brady on a critical third down. The ball pops loose and Greg Biekert recovers, seemingly sealing the game. But after review, referee Walt Coleman invokes an obscure clause. If a quarterback's arm is moving forward, the play is an incomplete pass, not a fumble. The Patriots retain possession, Adam Vinatieri drills a 45-yard field goal in the snow, and New England wins 16-13 in overtime. The tuck rule hadn't been cited all season and barely existed in fan consciousness. Its sudden application flips a playoff outcome and sparks suspicion, especially since the call originates from New York, not the field. Coleman never officiates another Raiders game. Even Brady later admits, yeah, probably a fumble. Super Bowl 40, Steelers-Seahawks. In Super Bowl 40, Pittsburgh defeats Seattle 21-10, but controversy overshadows the victory. Seahawks fans point to a string of pivotal calls: an offensive pass interference on Darrell Jackson that negates a touchdown, a dubious low-block flag on Matt Hasselbeck, and Ben Roethlisberger's goal line dive ruled a touchdown despite inconclusive footage. Seattle racks up 7 penalties for 70 yards. Pittsburgh draws just 3. Momentum stalls with each flag, each reversal, and each missed opportunity. The referee crew led by Bill Levy becomes the story. In 2010, Levy publicly admits to making mistakes that impacted the game's outcome, an unusual and damning confession from a lead official. Meanwhile, the Seahawks, despite outgaining the Steelers by 57 yards, can't overcome the officiating gap. Mike Holmgren jokes post-game, "I didn't know we'd have to play the guys in the striped shirts, too." 2018 NFC title game. The Rams win the 2018 NFC Championship 26-23 in overtime, but no one in New Orleans remembers the final score. With under 2 minutes remaining and the game tied, Rams cornerback nickel Roby Coleman takes out Tommy Lee Lewis with a helmet-to-helmet hit, well before the ball arrives. No flag is thrown. The Saints are forced to settle for a field goal, giving Los Angeles the ball back and a shot to tie. In response, the NFL admits the officials missed the call. The fallout triggers chaos. Saints fans file lawsuits, Commissioner Roger Goodell issues a statement, and the league installs a rule allowing pass interference reviews the following season, only to repeal it a year later after officials refuse to overturn clear calls. Sean Payton reportedly wears a Goodell clown shirt under his jacket the following preseason. 2022 AFC Championship. Kansas City edges Cincinnati 23-20 to reach Super Bowl 57, but the game doesn't end without controversy. With the score tied at 20 in the fourth quarter, the Chiefs are inexplicably granted a do-over on third down after a clock malfunction that no one in the stadium seems aware of. Officials blow the play dead after the snap, but the Bengals defense already records a stop. The Chiefs get another shot and a fresh set of downs moments later after a defensive hold. On the final drive, Joseph Osai is flagged for unnecessary roughness after pushing Patrick Mahomes out of bounds. The 15-yard penalty moves the ball into field goal range with just 8 seconds left. Harrison Butker nails the 45-yarder, and Kansas City advances. The league calls it a miscommunication, but Bengals fans call it something else entirely. The next disputed finish takes us to a different coast, but a familiar city. Super Bowl 54, Mahomes' comeback. Super Bowl 54 ends with the Chiefs storming back to beat the 49ers 31-20, but the turning point sparks accusations of bias. Down 20-10 in the fourth quarter, Patrick Mahomes faces third and long when Nick Bosa appears to beat his man for a clean sack. The offensive lineman visibly holds, but no flag comes. Mahomes converts on the drive, and Kansas City scores 21 unanswered points in the game's final 7 minutes. The league celebrates Mahomes as the new face of the NFL. Young, marketable, electric. Meanwhile, 49ers defensive players privately question the officiating, with Bosa later hinting that certain calls don't go our way. The comeback narrative cements Mahomes as a star, but for some, the no call overshadows the moment. Deflategate. In the 2015 AFC Championship, the Patriots demolished the Colts 45-7 to advance to Super Bowl 49. But the story shifts off the scoreboard when league officials discover 11 of New England's 12 game balls fall below the NFL's minimum inflation requirement. The NFL launches an investigation that dominates headlines for months, culminating in the Wells Report, a 243-page document concluding it was more probable than not that Tom Brady knew about the deflation. Commissioner Roger Goodell suspends Brady for 4 games, citing a failure to cooperate. The NFLPA appeals, but Goodell upholds his own ruling. Patriots owner Robert Kraft reluctantly accepts the $1 million fine and loss of draft picks, but the damage is done. Brady's legacy splits in public opinion. Spygate. In 2007, the Patriots are caught filming the New York Jets' defensive signals from an unauthorized location during a Week 1 matchup. The NFL confirms New England violated league rules prohibiting videotaping of coaches' signals from the sidelines, a practice banned since 2006. Commissioner Roger Goodell fines head coach Bill Belichick $500,000, the largest ever issued to a coach, and strips the team of its 2008 first-round draft pick. Belichick claims he misinterpreted the rules, but doesn't deny the act itself. The controversy deepens when the NFL announces it destroyed the confiscated tapes before releasing them to the public, fueling speculation that Spygate extended beyond one game. Critics argue the punishment is soft given the Patriots' 16-0 regular season that follows, while others suspect the league suppressed further damage to protect its most dominant brand. The incident casts a shadow over the franchise's early dynasty years. That dynasty enters a new phase in 2015 with another scandal and another title. 1982 Snowplow Game. On December 12, 1982, the Patriots beat the Dolphins 3-0 in one of the strangest games in NFL history. With the field at Schaefer Stadium frozen and covered in snow, both teams struggled to move the ball, let alone score. Late in the fourth quarter, New England lines up for a 33-yard field goal, but just before the snap, a stadium worker drives a John Deere tractor across the field and clears a clean patch for kicker John Smith. The field goal is good, and it stands as the game's only points. The league later reveals the driver was a prison work release inmate acting on direct orders from Patriots head coach Ron Meyer. The Dolphins protest, but the result stands. The NFL quickly bans any sideline interference with snow or field conditions, codifying the so-called snowplow rule. As one of the rare cases where literal field manipulation decides a game, it remains a sore spot in Miami and a cult legend in New England. 2012 Bountygate. In 2012, the NFL suspends Saints head coach Sean Payton for an entire season after uncovering a bounty program run by New Orleans defensive staff. The investigation reveals cash payouts for injuring opposing players, with extra rewards for cartoffs and knockouts. The scandal centers on the 2009 NFC Championship, where the Saints beat the Vikings 22-17 in overtime. Brett Favre, then 40 years old, absorbs multiple late hits, including a high-low shot that sprains his ankle, but draws no roughing flags. The league determines that defensive coordinator Greg Williams orchestrates the program, targeting quarterbacks with precision. The fallout is swift. Payton gets suspended, GM Mickey Loomis is benched for 8 games, and Williams receives an indefinite ban. Defensive captain Jonathan Vilma misses the entire 2012 season, though he later appeals. The NFL rewrites conduct policies in response, but for Saints critics, the Super Bowl 44 banner still carries an asterisk. The next controversy would involve cameras, not cash. Super Bowl 37, Gruden's Revenge. The 2002 season ends in a 48-21 Super Bowl blowout, but not for the team everyone expects. Tampa Bay throttles Oakland in Super Bowl 37, intercepting Rich Gannon 5 times and returning 3 for touchdowns. The twist? John Gruden, who coaches the Bucs to victory, had led the Raiders just 1 season prior. Despite his exit, the Raiders reportedly keep his playbook intact. Audibles, protections, and all. Gruden drills his new team on every call the Raiders might make. Defensive players later admit they knew routes and protections before the snap. Wideout Tim Brown hints at sabotage, saying the game plan never changes even after Gruden leaves. The score isn't close, but the backstory makes it sting. The Raiders' collapse becomes the most lopsided fallout of a coaching trade in NFL history, and the league quietly reconsiders how much intel a head coach can walk away with. 2023, Vikings comeback. On December 17, 2022, the Vikings trail the Colts 33-0 at halftime, the largest deficit in NFL history for a team that eventually wins. By the end of regulation, Minnesota has erased every point and forces overtime, eventually winning 39-36. The second half features multiple drives extended by third down penalties, holding, unnecessary roughness, pass interference, each called against Indianapolis at high-leverage moments. Meanwhile, the Colts' offense stalls, producing just 3 second-half points despite starting 3 drives near midfield. Fans immediately question the flow of flags and momentum, pointing to the league's well-documented interest in high-drama finishes and record-breaking narratives. The timing only fuels suspicions. It's a standalone Saturday game with national eyes, and the ratings spike. Kirk Cousins finishes with 417 passing yards, and the NFL's official highlight reel is uploaded before the post-game show ends. It's the kind of result that sparks script jokes and keeps them alive for months. The backlash reignites long-running claims about preferential officiating and made-for-TV miracles. The no-punt game. On September 13, 1992, the Bills and 49ers meet at Candlestick Park and combine for 831 passing yards, 65 points, and 0 punts. Jim Kelly throws for 274, Steve Young for 449, and neither defense records a sack or turnover. The game becomes the first in NFL history without a single punt, as both teams move the ball with near-total impunity. Despite 8 combined drives ending in touchdowns, defenses play what many later describe as vanilla coverage with minimal blitz pressure. Critics suggest the performance may not be accidental. Both teams entered as contenders. The game aired nationally, and league executives had emphasized a desire for more offense after 1991's low-scoring playoff slate. Some fans accuse the league of orchestrating a shootout to showcase new passing rules and boost ratings. The matchup quickly earns its nickname, the Entertainment Experiment. By the following offseason, the NFL's competition committee begins reshaping rules to further encourage pass-heavy play. Super Bowl 55, Bucs versus Chiefs. In Super Bowl 55, the Buccaneers dismantle the Chiefs 31-9, holding Patrick Mahomes without a single touchdown pass for the first time all season. Tampa Bay's defense pressures Mahomes 29 times, more than any quarterback in Super Bowl history, while no holding penalties are called on the Bucs' offensive line. Meanwhile, Kansas City racks up 8 defensive flags before halftime, including multiple pass interference calls that extend scoring drives. One of the most controversial moments comes when safety Tyrann Mathieu is penalized for taunting after intercepting Tom Brady, a pick that is wiped out by a separate flag. Critics question the officiating disparity, pointing to the 8-to-1 first-half flag ratio and the lack of offensive holding calls despite relentless pressure. Some allege the NFL leaned into a narrative. Tom Brady, at 43 years old, capturing his 7th title with a new franchise in front of a home crowd. The optics make for a legacy-cementing moment, but to Kansas City fans, it feels more like a setup. The lopsided officiating prompts post-game backlash and further fuels accusations that the league prioritizes storylines over parity. 1983 Elway Draft. In 1983, John Elway is drafted first overall by the Baltimore Colts, but immediately declares he won't play for them. Citing dysfunction within the organization, Elway leverages a potential baseball career with the Yankees to apply pressure. Days later, the Colts trade him to Denver for a package including quarterback Mark Harriman and a first-round pick. The swap happens quickly and quietly, prompting questions from media and rival front offices alike. Colts general manager Ernie Accorsi later states the franchise was strong-armed into the deal. Around the league, speculation grows that the NFL quietly encouraged the move to ensure its most marketable quarterback didn't vanish in a struggling franchise with an unstable ownership group. Several team executives suggest the league feared long-term reputational damage if Elway sat out entirely. The Colts spiral further, and Elway becomes the face of a resurgent Broncos franchise, leading many to believe the league picked a winner before the first snap. 1989. Wildcard Bills-Oilers. In the 1989 AFC wildcard, the Houston Oilers lead the Buffalo Bills 35-3 early in the third quarter. Rather than control the clock, Houston abandons the run game, despite running back Lorenzo White averaging 4.8 yards per carry. Frank Reich, filling in for an injured Jim Kelly, leads the Bills to 5 unanswered touchdowns. Buffalo ultimately wins 41-38 in overtime, completing the largest comeback in NFL playoff history. The collapse raises eyebrows because of its scale and timing. Defensive coordinator Jim Eddy refuses to adjust coverages, despite Reich repeatedly targeting the same weak zones. Some fans begin speculating the league quietly favored a narrative-friendly Buffalo run, especially with the game nationally televised. Reich's performance becomes the stuff of legend, yet Houston's meltdown never fully escapes scrutiny. The win launches the Bills toward 4 straight Super Bowl appearances, a run fueled by improbable momentum. If you enjoyed this, I'm going to be posting a lot here. I would greatly appreciate it if you could subscribe. Thanks for watching.